And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for the final race of season 1, Xbox ACC here at BoX3 Motorsports. My name is Adam. Be joined a little bit later by Red Rider himself, Mr. Caleb Stevens. I want to welcome everyone in. Thank you for being here. Race time. We've got a 2-hour endurance event today to cap off that first season of Xbox racing. You know, I saw the number of guys in the drivers meeting, and we're looking at about 10 to, I don't know, 10, 11 drivers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're racing Brands Hatch today. It's a tight track, not a lot of opportunity for passing. And so I think we're going to have some great racing here. I've told the drivers they can go ahead and get connected to the server, and we will do the same ourselves. If I can remember the password and type it in on this tiny little screen. But I hope everyone's having themselves a great weekend. Ready to get this race started here. We will be kicking off with a 10-minute free practice just to give the guys time to get in. Again, you can see we're already down under 9 minutes there. Get everybody loaded in. 20-minute qualification followed by 2 hours of endurance racing at Brands Hatch. We will have opportunity to take a look at these guys as they do their thing. Outer Unknown is in. Got some great drivers today joining us. I know Kipster is unable to make it. Happy birthday to his friend. He'll be spending time with friends and family this afternoon to celebrate a birthday. Scientist Monkey in the chat. DT Bubs, thank you for that subscription, sir. And that's right, subscriptions are open. BoX3 Motorsports is now a Twitch affiliate. So feel free to drop those in if you'd like to support the league. That is one way to do so. Let's get jumped over to full race. We can get started here this afternoon. Waiver frame out today. Outer Known still sitting in the pits. Palm Trio are going to get a little practice in here, though. Back out in the Lexus today. B Fife again on track. Always fun to watch him and Outer Known go too. Had some great racing with all these guys last week. And I'm hoping we're going to have the same again. Mr. Speed 108 on his way out of the pits now. In that purple McLaren. JB Racer's out in his Honda. 2 hours of racing today. JB, one of our controller racers, and I can tell you that little off-track excursion right there is not normal. It'll be wonderful if we can see him race today and how well his hands will do with 2 hours on a controller. Frank Drebin, another McLaren on track today. Huff Manic with the sub. Thank you, sir. We settle in real quick here for our free practice. As I mentioned earlier, this is the last Xbox race of this season. Season 2 already in the works. Plans are already in place to get that going as quickly as possible. There'll probably be about a 1-week gap in there as we look to, you know, finalize settings and everything else. Scientist Monkey for the subscription. Thank you so much. Hype Train is close. Thank you all. Much appreciated. But let's take a quick look. As I mentioned, last race of the Xbox season. However, as we wait for practice to roll through, as you can see, tomorrow, January 30th, and the times on there are incorrect. Okay, it's 8 p.m. UTC, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. PC racers will be at the Nürburgring tomorrow for an hour-and-a-half endurance race. Followed February 6th at Alton Park for a standard race. And we close out the season February 13th, right before Valentine's Day, in Barcelona for another standard race. So again, those will happen at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next 3 weeks, starting tomorrow with an endurance at the Nürburgring. PC season running just a little bit longer than Xbox this time. Use the good calendar, Molson. I didn't change it. I don't know why. Don't yell at me, monkey. Why anybody yell at me? It's a day. First times are starting to come in during free practice here with a 125.7 from Palm Tree Oil. Waiver Frame, 1.2 off pace, and JB Racer, 2.3. Now, look, Outer Known, B Fife have not set times yet, nor have Mr. Speed or Frank Drebin. We know Outer Known and Fife are both two of our faster drivers on the Xbox side. So, you know, without times there, we really don't know where people are going to sit. And there you see Frank Drebin jumping up very quickly. We'll see what happens during qualification. The weather's going to stay the same throughout the race, so we won't see any wild temperature changes here. Currently 20°C ambient with 22°C track temperature. Should not be any rain for today's race. But already here, just during free practice, looks like we should have some very close racing. And again, Brand's a very tight track. This is not something where, you know, you're going to have a lot of opportunity for passing. You have to pick your passes carefully and go for the right place. Had to be a cut. And there we see B Fife has set a lap. Just under 4 minutes left to go in today's free practice. Palm Tree Oil, however, holding all 3 purple sectors during practice so far. But Fife right there, again, only 0.4 off that pace. Waiver Frame taking a purple sector now. Our free practice starts to wind down. Again, we'll be doing a 20-minute qualification today. Drivers will be required to take 2 mandatory pit stops during today's race. We'll have to see that pit strategy. It'll be interesting to see what people do, how they spread out their pit stops and everything else, given that 2 are required, both tires and fuel for each one. Palm tree. Red Rider is here.
I is.
Outer known now. Able to get himself ahead of Palm Tree Oil. Let's take a look, see if he grabbed all 3 purple. No, he did not. He did take Sector 1 back from Waiver Frame, but Frank Drebin now holding Sector 2 and Palm Tree Sector 3 purple. Again, it's going to be very curious to see how qualifying goes for these guys. And if we see something similar, or if things get a little tighter. But we've got our top 5. Again, only out of 7, but our top 5 drivers all within 1 second of each other. This will be a short lap, Palm Tree. Short formation for the rest of the season. We'll have that set up for next season. Red's going to help me with that.
Yeah, it's not. I had it saved. I just had to find it.
Oh, no problem, man.
Find it, looked at it carefully, hit the wrong button, erased it, and typed it in. So.
One of those kind of weekends is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, got extra brain damage after this week.
Excellent. Not sure everybody knows that you fought a wrench.
Yeah, that's all right. Not everybody needs to know that. Or that I lost.
I didn't see now. I didn't tell anybody you lost. I just told him you fought one. You told him you lost. Bubs told him you lost. Don't worry about it. He's got you covered.
Somebody should.
So outer known in Palm Tree.
Bubs, I should tagged.
I lost you.
Said Bubs commentating on this with tag team.
I don't know where Bubs is.
You need Bubs' energy.
I know, right? So outer known and Palm Tree will decide to come shooting out of the pits together. The start of qualification, and I sometimes wonder about that. These, like, when you see somebody else going and you fire out right behind them for qual, I don't know why you would do that. Like, wouldn't you want some space when you come out for your flying? You know, you're gonna hit your flying lap.
Palm Tree Oil needs all the tow help with his driving lines to get, so he's gonna follow a good driver.
He's gonna follow outer known. Gotcha. Okay.
Drinking liquor, waiting for the snow to come back.
You can keep it. It's all yours, man. Have it. You can have all you want.
That's right.
We'll continue to wait for times to come in here. I really enjoy this circuit. I kind of wish I was driving today. That's right. I don't have a steering wheel.
I drove it last week. Not missing much.
I enjoy Brands Hatch. I think this is I mean, it's not easy, right? It's there's some corners like where we're watching outer known come up to right now. That, you know, that long left hand before you hit the straight can be really difficult to hit properly. So certainly not the easiest track, but I do enjoy it.
I believe that's where I lose most of my time.
Right in that corner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Looks as though Mr. Speed has yet to leave the pits. AB Racer in the Honda today. So just looking here, Mr. Speed would like it if someone stops on track, make sure if you're coming up behind them, hit your brakes and don't crash into them. I think that's a good policy to have, in all honesty. Waiver frame yet to set a time today. Our only Aston on track. But Frank Drebin right now leading with a 124.7. That's very close to what we saw for the fastest during the 10-minute practice. You know, obviously half the time, not as many laps completed. But he very quickly got down there. Was still a little over 15 minutes left to go in today's qualifying session. Already down to a 124.7 for him. Palm Trail about a half second off pace with B5 8 back. 8 minutes back. Waiver frame now setting a time 1.6 off Drebin's pace. Check in with B Fife. The driver's starting to drop back to the pits, maybe make some adjustments. Again, plenty of time for today's qualification. Are known currently sitting in second, something we expect. Had a great battle last week and then ended up with hardware issues that sent him off track. And hopefully that does not happen. We don't have a repeat of that here at Brands, because one of our better drivers, very safe, very conscientious, but very I would say one of those that can be very aggressive without putting it into the range of slamming into people or causing racing incidents. Even last week when he had the hardware issues, it was only himself. He didn't end up hitting anyone. But we had about a 6-lap battle going on for a while. It was just absolutely fantastic to watch. B5 now up into third, just narrowly edging out Palm Tree Oil. A little surprising, JB Racer 2.2 off pace. He is typically, and again, even though on controller, typically one of our faster drivers. So strange to see him that far off the pole pace at this point. It's really not something at all normal. So we'll see if JB can tighten that up here a little bit before the end of qualifying today.
Been a little bit slower the last couple weeks too, so
yeah,
we'll have to see how that.
Brands Hatch on controller sounds like an absolute nightmare. Well, here's the thing. I wanted to check the server today to make sure things were set right. So I just grabbed my Xbox controller, sat down here and said, okay, so I'm going to go drive it and just go to practice, qual and see if the race launches. I was able to get around the course in 1 minute and 58 seconds on a controller, sir. Got that mad race pace on a controller.
Only 30 plus seconds off. Good job.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was clean, though. It was clean. Outer Known doing his best to try and outpace Drebin. Unable to close it up so far. I think Frank Drebin might have spent some time practicing this week.
He had, if I remember correctly, I thought he had a lap set a week or two ago that was really fast. It was consistency during the race he had to with, but I might have that.
Is that where the problems lie?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
He's been fast at other tracks, drops back. One fast lap, the tire.
And that's the thing, I surf through Reddit and the sim racing subreddit and all these places where guys post their laps and everything. And look, trying to, wanting to be fast, absolutely necessary, right? You have to be fast. If you're not fast, you're going to get passed and not win races. But some of them, that's all they are concerned with, is how fast they can go, you can be fast all day, but if you can't drive in traffic and all you do is cause problems, well, nobody's going to want to race with you anyway. What's the point? Palm Tree now edging out Known. 117 off pace. Outer Unknown 135. B5 162. So the top 4 drivers are all about, and B5 now just jumped up to P2, just 0.04 of a second off the pace. All 4 of our top 4 drivers are within 1/10 of a second of Frank Drebin.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That's going to get real interesting. Go on board with Frank now. Done. Why are you giving away my secrets? That's what I do. On board there with Frank Drebin on his out lap after taking a jump into the pits. Looks like he's at least modestly happy with the setup, going to stay out. That lap will not be helping. Well, P. Fife now into the pits. Palm Tree Oil still out on track, looking to tighten it up a little bit. JB Racer able to close it in a little bit, now within 1.7 of our leader. As you know, as you said, Red, though, it's all going to come down to the consistency, right? Frank can be the fastest, but if he's only the fastest during qualification and not during the race, or if he can't maintain a 2-hour drive time consistency, he's very quickly going to get left behind, even by someone, you know, who at this track is a little bit slower, like JB.
True. Apparently my dogs have decided to bark. Mike Drebin still looking to tighten it up, now with 3.5 minutes roundabout to go. Today's qualifying session. Again, we're here for 2 hours, folks. I can tell you right now, during that long of a race, it may get quiet here for a few minutes at a time. But even with only 7 drivers on track, this is Brands Hatch. I don't see it being boring. It's a tight track, right? This isn't Spa. This isn't Panorama. This isn't Road America, which apparently is longer than Spa. I didn't realize. I learned that lesson last night. But my point is, yeah, well, yeah, it's like, holy hell. But you know, a 124 lap versus a 2 minute 20 lap. That's a lot of tight racing. I think we're gonna have plenty to watch. And Peanut Butter's in the chat. Don't know why he's not in the race, but he is in the chat.
Make him take it with us on vacation.
Right?
Yeah. He'll have some time away from electronics. He'll have more time to practice.
Oh yeah.
Not yet.
Hey, Red.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot to mute. Sorry. That was kind of surprising.
Okay, gotcha.
They walked up behind me. I didn't even...
For a minute, I couldn't tell you weren't talking to me, so. Frank Drebin with a little slide through E1. I'd say at this point, B5 has decided he is happy with his lap time. Going to line up in P2. As Palm Tree can get himself ahead, which he does. Palm Tree Oil, a 124.6, beating out Drebin by 0.08 of a second. This is why we watch qualifying all the way to the end. But with that time running down, we will go ahead and pull back our camera to get ready for the start of today's race. Again, 2 required pit stops today. We'll have to keep an eye on that strategy. There is no pit window. So, you know, there's nothing to stop a driver from waiting until, say, the top of the hour, 60 minutes left. If they think they can stretch a gas tank for 60 minutes, coming in, changing tires, changing, you know, fueling up, maybe just quick fuel for enough for 1 or 2 laps, go run a lap or 2 and come right back into the pits and do another stop to change tires and fuel up for the last of the race. So let's see if anybody decides to do that. With the tire change, all the pit stops are going to be about the same. Unless you have damage, flat 30 seconds you're in there for. Not a super long pit row here. So hopefully, that strategy is going to come into play at some point, and we will see who can stay ahead. Quick look at the timetables as qualification runs down. Palm Tree Oil currently sitting on the pole. However, Frank Drebin still holding purple in Sector 1 with B5 Sectors 2 and 3. All of them, all our top 4 in that 124 range, from a 124.6 to a 124.8. We're going to have some tight racing up front. It's all going to come down to that consistency, like Red was saying before he had to go. Stand by, Zep. He goes up. Give it a second. What was that by the guy in the Aston destroyed my lap? Excuse me. Not sure, Speed Racing. Not sure we caught that. And we will get ready out of the pits and went straight on the racing line. I don't know. You would want to make sure if you clipped it. Okay. Hopefully you clipped that. You can turn that in. For steward's decision if you think there was a problem. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, they only allow you like 11. You're going to need them. You may need them today. Hopefully not, but you never know. Here we go, folks, getting set up again. Short formation lap. They'll come around the final corner of the circuit, and we will go green in just 47 seconds. Well said, Zap. Good luck to all of our drivers today. Keep it clean. Let's have some great racing. Plenty of time for battles at Brands. We saw it last week with the PC guys. Some really great battles on this track can be had if folks keep patient and just try and hold out and wait for the right moment. Force that other guy to make that mistake, right? We've talked about it before. Outer Known. Palm Tree Oil leading the way. Up front with Outer Known. Fife right there along with Frank Drebin in row 2. We get ready for racing today, folks. Brands Hatch, 2 hours.
Green light. Go.
And we are going green. Down into T1. Outer Known quickly pulling away and getting himself out in front of Palm Tree. Mr. Speed going way wide coming out of T1. Sorry, that was Frank Drebin. Oh, this thing doesn't keep up. A problem there as B Fife. There we go, thank you. JB Racer on the back end, getting himself up into 4th on the back end of B Fife. But Outer Known already 7/10 out on Palm Tree Oil, but both of them much faster than the rest of the field, with B Fife 2 seconds off the back end of Palm Tree. JB Racer right there with him though. Frank Drebin following up with those guys. We saw Waiver Frame and Mr. Speed have some trouble earlier. Mr. Speed sliding around that corner at the end of the straight, going very quick. Trying to keep a line through there. We'll see now because Palm Tree already trying to close that gap just down to half a second now behind Outer Known. Now remember, we had purple sectors split amongst B Fife and Outer Known at the end of qualifying. So we look back and we say, okay, well, Fife's already, 2.5, almost 3 seconds off the pace of these guys. But we've watched him come back from a lot deeper, and especially holding purple in 2 sectors. If he has clean air in front of him, he may just be able to close this up, especially if I'm Outer Known right now, having to fight Palm Tree Oil off. I am not running my fastest laps. And so that gives a great opportunity for B Fife to catch up. JB Racer now dropping back. Mr. Speed already into the pits. But JB Racer falling back off the end of Fife. Frank Drebin just now hitting the straight. Waiver Frame still out there. And as we said, Mr. Speed into the pits already. We'll see if his number ticks down and he actually clears a stop while he's there, or if that was all for damage. We know we saw him go off track earlier. Palm Tree now out front. So able to get around Outer Known. There's no rewind in this. Something must have happened to Known because there's no way they were that close. The Palm Tree now leads the way. Past the pits. You see already B Fife within 1.4, 1.5 of Outer Known. That gap was over 2 seconds earlier, not 1 lap ago. So he's already closing that gap. Palm Tree's opened it up a little bit here over Outer Known. Not really feeling any pressure right now. We'll have to see how this tightens up. Looks like Outer Known must have had some sort of issue to allow Palm Tree to get up ahead like that. Mr. Speed back out on track, and with only
1 pit stop remaining, so he cleared at least 1 while he was in there, along with any damage repair that had to be done.
Go, go.
As we see, our leaders already catching up to a back marker, Mr. Speed, who had to go into pits for repairs. As Red said earlier, a tight track, not a lot of opportunity for passing. Now, luckily, coming right up here is one of those opportunities. That long back straight provides ample opportunity as long as you're caught up with that car. But if not, once you get into that series of the back end track corners, sector 3, you're not provided a lot of opportunity there until that lap is over. We'll have to see as these guys catch up with Mr. Speed, how they handle it and how clean this race stays for how long. But the fact that we're catching back markers already says we're gonna have action all afternoon here. Again, very small track compared to some of the others we've raced, and one we'll want to keep an eye on. Bubs, you tell Mrs. Bubs I said hello. Hello. And I hope the snow's not bothering her too much. Now, we saw Mr. Speed in the chat earlier saying he's struggling with this car, right? So, hopefully he's going to allow plenty of room for both Palm Tree and Outer Known to get around here. But where do you make that play? And I tell you right now, T1 is not the place. And Palm Tree's still got a little room to catch up there. But maybe up here, coming into T2, it's a tight hairpin. But if you hang outside and let these guys take the inside dive, again, it's so tight through here. It's going to make it extremely difficult to find just that right location. Mr. Speed going very wide into the dirt. Now Palm Tree right there behind him. But this has obviously allowed Outer Known now to close the gap up to Palm Tree. B-Fife is right there. He's only 2 seconds back. Palm Tree able to take one side. Outer Known going off into the grass. Oh my lord. That was scary. Oh. Outer Known taking the bigger chance there, to be sure. I think he got caught off guard as to where Mr. Speed was going. It looked like Speed was wanting to give these guys room, and maybe Outer Known misjudged which direction he was going to go with that. And we see Palm Tree hit the right. Outer Known thinks he needs to go left, but not so fast, because here comes Speed when he sees Palm Tree on his right-hand side. Wow. This off-track brought to you by Husqvarna. My goodness, let's get back up here now. 4/10 separating our leaders. B-Fife still trapped behind Mr. Speed. I think I've watched Fife drive for right around a year at this point, and I gotta say, I think this being a 2-hour race, he's playing a long game right now, because normally you're used to seeing, and Fife, much like Outer Known, is one of those drivers who can be very aggressive without being dangerous, right? He knows how to get on your rear end. He knows how to make you feel pressure. He knows how to look for the opportunities to make that pass and to be patient enough to do so. Right now, he's not pushing. He's happy with that 2-second gap. It really looks as though he's okay to let this play out up front and then take his opportunity down the road, knowing how long of a race he has left to deal with. Palm Tree Oil just a little wide there. Check in on Fife real quick. Has he cleared Mr. Speed yet? Looks like he in fact has. Still lost a little more time there. Right now 2.3 off pace. Outer known very wide out of turn 3. Gonna allow Fife that opportunity to close that gap. Gains half a second there. Outer known indicating to us he is having Palm Tree disappear on track until he's within 2 seconds. Really? That's curious. I don't know, now off track again and re-enters. Fife gonna close that gap up very quick and take advantage of that. Well, now I'm even more confused. Mr. Speed gonna hold the inside line and hits Outer known. Outer able to straighten it out. But he definitely pushed back out on him. Looked like he lost control of the vehicle. Outer known able to get clear B Fife now. Clearing Mr. Speed. Now Palm Tree Oil with a 4.8 second lead. Back to Outer known and Fife. But Fife now closing that gap once again. Obviously got a little stretched out when they were both trying to get around Mr. Speed, but now both drivers pop back up. Outer Known having to play defense, only going to allow Palm Tree to stretch that gap as we've seen thus far. Here we are with our current battle. Outer Known leading B Fife. Fife, again, really looks like he's taking his time. He's holding that patience. And there Outer Known goes off into the Toolies. There's another shot for Bubs. That's 2 in a row. B Fife now moving up into second, and quite the gap to close up onto Palm Tree Oil. But again, we've seen him do it before, right? He's pulled from way back in the field and able to get himself caught up. Fife, if nothing else, a very consistent driver. He's fast, we know that, but he's also very, very consistent. And there we already see it, folks, and I apologize, I had to step away a quick moment. But there we already see it. Fife closing down this gap. He's already brought that down a full second in just a lap and a half. So again, very fast, but also very consistent. He finds his groove, and he's going to get around this as quickly as possible. And repeatedly in the same manner over and over again, right? Watch Fife continue to close that gap to Palm Tree Oil. And there he goes. Now B-Fife off track. So that gap closure we were just talking about, now gone. That's going to open back up. But until that moment, we saw it coming down and coming down almost a full second per lap. So maybe, you know, I mean, again, maybe we see it now 4.5 seconds. We're another five laps out from possibly getting this battle started. Outer Known now into the pits has cleared one of his stops. Take a quick look back through the field. Frank Drebin, currently running in third, has stayed very consistent throughout this race, moved himself up through the ranks. Waiver Frame running in fourth right now, 5.4 off his pace. JB Racer struggling at Brands today, but now coming across the line one more time, 6-7 back from Waiver Frame, and takes the slide into T1, which is a very easy thing to do here at Brands. Outer Known having made his way out of the pits. Quite a ways back at this point. We'll see if he can break out and catch some of that time up today. But right now, Palm Tree Oil is your leader after about 25 minutes of racing, with B-Fife now back to 3.5 off pace. So Fife's got the pace on him. Now with the first 30 minutes, you know, about to expire here, that first pit stop's going to start to come into play for all these guys, right? Does Fife undercut, try and get in there near the top of the hour, or does he go about 45 minutes, let's say, so that at the end he can just very quickly come in for those tires and fuel with the last 15 minutes to go? But where does he put his pit stop in relation to Palm Tree, given that he's got a faster pace than him? Oh, we take a minute. Just thinking about it. I'm slow today. Take a minute to go check in on B-Fife. Man of concentration right there. The saying is slow and steady wins the race, but he is anything but slow. That is for sure. But certainly steady. Palm Tree driving quite well today. I mean, really, you know, we've seen Outer Known have issues. We've seen Fife, you know, we've seen Fife spin. I think Waiver Frame, JB, we saw just spin a lap, you know, last lap. Really, if we want to talk about consistency, Palm Tree is the one with the consistency. Who is Javier Gold? Oh, there's a password on the server, so whoever it is, they have the password. I just don't know why they're joining now. Done. Can one of you guys hit the Discord and find out who that is and tell them to get off my server, please? Yeah, he goes off track, of course. You know, yeah. Commentators curse. Y'all will blame me for it. I know that. But that does get Fife within 1.4. And now under a second between them. Oh, he's gone, done. Well, there we see it. The battle has begun. Nobody knows, Monkey. Nobody knows. Fife right to it now. Palm Tree Oil gonna have to play some defense. As we talked about earlier, Fife very, very patient. He is not gonna rush this. He's got an hour and a half left in this race. There is no need for him to push this right now. Maintain pace, apply the pressure to Palm Tree. One of them's gonna have to pit first, right? Or they dive in at the same time. We'll see how that goes. But right now, Fife has no reason to rush this at all. Again, Fife really looking to take his time here. Plenty of time to use. And there's absolutely not one lick of sense in trying to rush this with just under an hour and a half left to go in today's race. Let's take a look back. Frank Drebin still running in third. Waiver Frame in fourth, 7 seconds back. JB Racer in fifth, and Outer Known we just saw still looking to catch his way back to the front, but down by quite a bit at this point. Our battle is for 1 and 2. Not that I'm aware of, Dunn. And I do apologize, folks. It appears as though there are some audio issues today. I'm really unsure as to why. That is new, not something I've experienced before. And the really weird part is I can't hear it in my ears. I can't hear it at all, but it is going out through the stream. So before tomorrow's PC race, I'm gonna do some tearing down of some items and see if I can't fix it up a little. Seems B-Fife is quite content right now to simply tool along. E.T. Bubs with the gifted. Well, and that's part of my curiosity, Dunn. It may very well be. Because I don't recall having this problem last week, though, is the only thing. So, we'll see. I'm going to play with it tonight and tomorrow morning before the PC race. And unfortunately, yeah, PC races are a lot easier because, you know, there's software and all kinds of stuff you can do and APIs you can hit and tie into ports and IP addresses. You can't do that with the console. This is where it leaves. Back down to 3/10 now as Fife looks to close in. And, you know, with Fife's experience, he may know where he wants to be and when on this track, right? He may understand and say to himself, you know what, this is the corner. This is where I can go. So I got to tighten it up by the time we get there, but then wait to make my play. And then, you know, once he doesn't have opportunity that lap for whatever reason, backs it down up the straight and says, okay, let it stretch out a little bit. I need a bit of a break. So really trying to conserve his physical tiredness along with tires on the car and everything else, because battles are going to chew tires. He's not going to want to have to dive in. So if he knows he doesn't have a passing zone in front of him for the rest of this lap, why not back it off and conserve a little bit? Well, there's your problem, Dunn. I don't have two great friends. I said two. You're one, Bubs. I said I don't have two. And besides, how do I know you want to play Rainbow Six Extraction? Don't, because it's weird aliens and stuff. And that's not what Rainbow Six is. Yeah, but Red just yells at me a lot. Again, Fife backing down just a little bit as he closes it right back up, though, headed into the straight. We'll see if he gets opportunity here. That's what makes him precious. He precious. Oh, he precious. Again, we're seeing this rubber banding that we're getting right now, right? He's getting close. He closes it in with 1 or 2 tenths, and then we're back out to 7 or 8, and then back to 1 or 2, and back to 7 or 8. You know, we could probably go back and look at the timetables for qual. And I'm really willing to bet we would see, you know, Palm Tree's faster in one sector versus the others, where B Fife is a little quicker in those. Does not quite have the play this lap, and not certainly going to be making a pass on this straight today, or on this during this lap. And both drivers into the pits at the same time. Hour and 20 left to go in today's race. Now Drebin sitting in third right now, but 37 seconds back. Fife deciding he wants to continue this battle. Both drivers hitting it at the same time. Getting back to back. Let's see who's going to get out of here first. Yeah, Bubs, 2 stops today. No windows. Frank Drebin now getting out into first. Only 37 seconds back, so obviously going to have opportunity there with pit entry and exit. Palm Tree Oil is the first to drop. Fife right behind him, so we will see a little bit of a gap coming out as JB Racer comes around. So these guys are going to be split up by a back marker. With Frank Drebin now leading. With that said, folks, we're going to go on board with Palm Tree Oil. I'm going to step away for a lap or two now that we've got some space between our top 2 drivers. Need to take a quick break here, but we will leave you on board with Palm Tree until I return. As we see now, that gap's still open at 3.8 seconds between Palm Tree and Fife, both able to get back ahead of Waiver Frame as he took his pit stop. All of our drivers now having cleared one of their 2 mandatory pit stops. And I know Ottens is going to yell at me for this again, but we're going to bump it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. ACC Endurance Racing at the Nürburgring. 8 p.m. UTC. 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be here. You can catch all the action right here at BoX3 Motorsports. Let's jump out again. We're going to take a quick check-in on Fife. See how he's doing. As we see, we've got Palm Tree down there in the corner for you. Wife checking the camera. He knows we're watching, I think. As he looks to close that gap as quickly as possible. There we see Outer Known off track again and struggling. Palm Tree and Fife both able to clear him. Looks like he is having some struggles again, though. Just now getting up to speed. Not going back into the pits, so hopefully no hardware issues like he had last week. I think that counts as a shot, Bubs. Well done. To be fair, there's nothing stopping you from joining tomorrow. Even if it's not for points, you could at least come and race. As I said earlier as well, folks, Season 2 of Xbox Racing will return. And with the schedule we've put together, I think folks are going to like it. We're really doing our best, and you can't be 100% because, well, one, endurance races in the real world are 3 hours long minimum, and two, not all the tracks are in ACC, so we can't run the actual season. However, we're building Season 2 of Xbox around the real world GT World Challenge Europe. There'll be 8 weeks of racing, a mix of both sprint and endurance races. Sprints being 1 hour, endurance being 2. And that will be starting in just a few weeks. So you're going to want to stay tuned here and over at the Discord if you are interested in racing with us. Of course, you'll be able to sign up using SimGrid for Season 2. They weren't doing console championships up until about halfway through our first season. So now we're going to be able to start Season 2 fresh on SimGrid for signups and stats tracking and everything else. So that's a great addition for Xbox and PlayStation players as far as that goes. Any console racers now having access to that is just fantastic. So Fife now has closed it to 2.5 seconds. Waiver Frame currently running in third. Only Aston on track today, but he has been able to run his own race. Really being able to mind his business, keep out of trouble up front, and that put himself, putting himself up into third with Outer Known struggling early. Again, Waiver Frame just looking to maintain that consistency. And really still opportunity there for him, because with more pit stops and a lot of racing, just under an hour and 10 minutes to go, we're not even halfway through yet. And he's going to have that opportunity, if he can maintain consistency, to at least close that gap. Again, Palm Tree and Fife very, very fast. However, Waiver Frame can hold his own, and if either one of those guys has any sort of major error, I'm going to provide him the chance to jump up there and possibly at least get between them. Fife now down to about 2 seconds behind Palm Tree. You're not wrong, Dunn. I just couldn't let you or Bubs be at the top of that list. It was bothering me as I watched today's awesome Xbox racing. Now down to a 1.6 second gap between 1 and 2. Fife slowly closing it up again. Palm Tree about to start feeling that pressure once more. Was able to avoid a lot of it by going to the pits. Fife follows him, gets the jump out. Palm Tree gets the jump out, able to hold on to the lead. Gets Outer Known between JB Racer between the two of them. So Palm Tree, able to open up the gap a little bit and hold on. All of a sudden now, Fife is very quickly closing that gap once more. And we've seen what happens once he does so, right? We've got that flex between about 2 to 6 or 7 tenths of a second between them. Fife just waiting for his opportunity to make that ounce. Get wrecked, Bubs says. Get wrecked. Gotta take a shot now, Bubs. I think that's the rule. I will join you for one towards the end of the race, but I can't do one now. I gotta be able to pay attention. B Fife himself, the recipient of one of those gifted subs. Thank you so much, Bubs. For that. That is much, much appreciated. Down to a second and a half now. Waiver frame doing his best. Again, just getting to run his race at this point. Nothing wrong with sitting in third. He's getting a hot lap run by himself. Frank Drebin 13 seconds back from him. Frank having a little struggle up front. Outer Known really having struggled during this race. Now JB Racer. We got a little bit of a battle back here for 5th and 6th. Keep our eyes on this for a moment. Outer Known again struggling today a bit. And maybe about to have head-to-head with JB. You know, and making sure the server was set. I mentioned earlier, making sure the server was set and everything today. I'm currently without a wheel, so I can't drive anyway, but I jumped into the server, grabbed a controller, same thing I use for controlling the camera here, and said, okay, let me just do this real quick and make sure it's going to run, and I want to check it and make sure everything's good. And I did. Oh, Outer Known again with the slip out of T1. We've seen that problem there before, but JB as well has had that. And now that gap has closed right down, coming through T2. And I was able to do a lap on controller of about, I think it was like a 140 something. Now you see these guys are running 124s, 125s. I don't know how JB can race on a controller. I can't wrap my head around it. I have no idea. Outer Known with a little back and forth. Going wide into the grass. JB not going to follow him. As Outer Known lets his feelings about that sign be known directly. And JB Racer has moved up into 5th now. Meanwhile, we got to jump back up front because Palm Tree has allowed B Fife to close within 0.6 of a second as the two of them catch up on Frank Drebin, I believe. Yep, Frank Drebin right there. Bubs, that's 2 though, because he took out a sign as well, so I'm thinking that's a double. Hey, Bubs, also. Don't mess with me. Life now closing right on the tail of Palm Tree. So again, this is where we get to watch him play that waiting game. Where is he going to spring that opportunity? He comes alongside. He's got the jump out of the corner, closing in. Tucking the nose of that Ferrari under the wing of that Lexus right now as we come around one more time. Just over 1 hour left to go in today's race. Palm Tree probably hoping he can get caught up to Frank here. Get around and get some gap between him and Fife. Fife struggling out of T2 now. It's going to open up a little bit. Outer known back into the pits now. Done. You got issues, buddy. Check in on Fife real quick.
Halfway through, not over yet.
There we are, folks. We've hit the halfway point of today's endurance race at Brands Hatch. There he is, B Fife chasing down Palm Tree Oil. And Fife looking very calm and collected. Not appear to be struggling at all with this. Palm Tree Oil pulling a drive-through for track limits. Little Kiwi keeps cutting corners, and that's what happens, folks. Right there. But we'll see Fife jump up real quick. And there we'll see Palm Tree's going to take that. Now the curious part is, with only a drive-through, is Frame going to be able to catch up and get around? It doesn't appear so. We'll keep an eye if this pushes Palm Tree back any further. Back out of the pits he goes. Safe to hold on to P2. And now it's 15 seconds down from Fife, who is going to sit back and own the rest of this. It is now his to lose. 44 laps down, just over 55 minutes left in today's race. B5 leading the charge. Palm tree oil in second. Obviously going to be very, very frustrated. Outer known now having cleared all of his pit stops. Who did we lose? We lost. Oh, we lost waiver frame. Why did we lose waiver frame? The waiver frame now joining back in, must have had connection issues. That's a shame. He was doing so well too. Frank Drebin now up into third, with JB Racer currently running in fourth. The waiver frame coming back into the pits. We'll see if there's any kind of hold on him or anything that's keeping him there for now, or if he's just completing his setup. But B5 leads 45 laps deep. Right back out he goes. That's a shame too, because again, Frame was doing was having a great race today, up into third. Really doing well and just able to drive on his own terms and mind his business. Unfortunately, connection issues really throwing him for a loop. So if we see here now, Palm Tree 21.1 back. Now, again, everybody with tires and fuel, everybody running full 30-second pit stops. What does that 21 seconds do? Who's going to undercut? Who's going to look to go as long as they can with 53 minutes left to go? Pit stops are going to matter between Fife and Palm Tree. And the pace we saw Fife running earlier, I don't know that Palm Tree can capture that and close it and yet maintain the consistency. He's going to look to push. He's going to possibly overdrive this vehicle and end up causing himself more problems. And that's not me wishing that upon him. I mean, it's just the fact he wants to push and catch up to Fife now. Was having a great run. Those guys were lining up to have a fantastic battle in the last hour of this race. That drive-through shutting him down, really the pit stops and that strategy are going to come into play very heavily now. You know, so if I'm Fife and I know I'm up 20 and a half seconds, if I'm B5, can I hold this Ferrari for the next 51 minutes? Right? Do I dive into the pits now, get fresh tires on, or at what point do I jump into the pits, get fresh tires on, and pull that undercut? Because again, 20 and a half seconds gap. You're going to come out in second, but you got plenty of time to play catch up and close that gap again before Palm Tree's forced to take that final pit stop. I don't know. I think sitting on this side of it, and obviously he could tell us later if he wanted to, but sitting on this side of it, I feel like the advantage to Fife if he undercuts. And Fife loses it, spinning the car around. Plenty of time to get himself spun, but that's certainly going to close that gap back to Palm Tree. Now with Fife having to get back up to speed, Frank Drebin applying pressure. He's down, right? He's down a lap. Fife has no need to hold him back or to race him, but Drebin going to apply pressure, wants to continue to run his race, and Fife needs to get it back up to speed. Palm Tree now closing that gap down to 10 seconds. So again, now what does that do? I'm asking chat, what does that do to now if I'm Fife? What's that strategy now? What's that pit strategy now that that gap is smaller than it was before? And guys, there's a poll running at the top of the chat right now. For about another 2 minutes, should we pull Palm Tree Oil in for a mid-race interview? He is available in one of the voice chats. Done, that's me. Palm Tree now down to that 11-second gap as we come around on lap 49. You might not be wrong, Bubs. You might not be wrong. There we go. We will grab a hold of Palm Tree and get him in here. So again, real quick before we do the Fife now, still an 11-second gap leading this race. And as we said before, his race to lose. And we saw that happen with a 360 coming off the end of the course. Now diving into the pits. So here comes that undercut. Let's see where Palm Tree goes before we do pull him in. And see if he's going to go ahead and hit the pits as well. I would think it would behoove him to stay out right now, get up front. But no, he will come into the pits as well. Let's drag him down here right now. Palm Tree.
Olsen.
So, what happened?
I just didn't lift as much as I should have.
3 times?
That's all that.
4 times?
Well, yeah. Well, the last time when I got the drive-through, I lifted because I knew I was, going to get a track warning. So I lifted, but it still gave me it.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this: Why now? Why did you come into the pits now? What made you want to take the pit stop?
So, and my tires were kind of dying. So.
Okay. So you think now? I mean, obviously he's going to get that jump. We saw him just come out. Or do you think you're going to be able to close that gap now?
I mean, I sure hope so.
Okay. You just see. Well, I know you're going to try to.
I just need him to have another mistake. That's all I need.
You just need him to screw up one more time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. We watched Frank Drebin.
When I went off on that last corner, that really screwed me over. As I was going to brake, he joined and then I lagged. Or like I skipped.
Yeah, and that was mentioned already. You'll see it in the on the Discord. I don't think he knew better. I don't think he knew not to do that. We were all new at some point, right? Overall, though, so far, you satisfied today? I mean, you've done some great racing. I mean, you were holding Fife at bay for a good number of laps before that drive-through happened, right? So, you know, I thought it was fantastic. You guys,
if you get that drive-through, it'd still be like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys were running such a great battle. 45 minutes now left to go. Now you're just hot lapping. See if you can close that gap. So, well, I will leave you to it, sir. I'm gonna send you back up to where you were because you're a nutter.
Okay.
But I'll grab you up maybe after the race here, and we'll have a conversation.
Sweet as.
All right, later, buddy.
Later.
Joined again by Red Rider, I think. Well, obviously, you guys can hear it in his voice. I mean, I think Palmtree's a little frustrated with the drive-through. Again, some great battling lining up there with him leading B-Fife right there behind him. Both of them on pace, both of them very consistent, both of them very patient. And so, you know, I really missed out because of that drive-through there. And it's a shame we don't get to watch that today. At least not thus far.
I'm here. There's just random cleaning going on, so I'm
Random cleaning?
to talk because it will get loud and quiet.
Random cleaning? Like you might clean half the counter and then leave the other half dirty or stuff like that? I drove him away already, folks. Frank Drebin and JB Racer both yet to clear that last pit stop. I don't think Brands Hatch is one of JB's favorite courses. We've seen him be much faster in other locations.
By random, I mean like vacuum starting, stopping, and me not wanting to loot the airwaves.
Probably a good plan. Well, apparently I'm already doing that today with a little bit of low-grade crackle on the stream, and I don't know why. Because I cannot hear it myself. Which makes no sense.
I haven't listened to the stream. I've just been listening on here, so it's news to me. To me, it sounds great.
Now, even when I bring it up and listen to it, I can hear it myself, and the problem is I can't hear it in my ears, which if it were a grounding issue, I would think I would be able to hear it, but I can't. So that's very strange to me. It's bothering me. But I'm going to tear some things apart before tomorrow's race. So.
That's why we love you.
I know. Bubs and I had a competition, and I won.
A pickiness.
A what?
A pickiness competition?
No, a sub competition. I won so far. I'm winning by 1 point so far, so. Trying to get a few more shots in him, see how far we can get him to go here. Missed some great racing earlier, Red. I will tell you that. I know you were on the road a little bit. Had out with the family. B-Fife and Palm Tree Oil really going at it. I mean, Fife is something to watch, I gotta say, because the patience that this man has is, to me, just unbelievable.
And patience when dealing with another, like whole nother level.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And just, I mean, because he got up behind him and he caught up, and for 3 to 4 laps before Palm Tree got his, well, we saw him split up because of the pit stops. And then they caught back up to each other. Palm Tree leading, you know, Fife getting up behind him and closing to within, 1/10. And then you can tell where his faster sectors are, right? He would close the gap, and then it would come back a little bit to 7 or 8 tenths back, but never any kind of real gap there, and just kept closing it up, waiting for the opportunity, and closing it up, waiting for the opportunity. And when it didn't feel right, you didn't see him looking to shoot a gap that wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Totally. He doesn't take chances. He waits for the other drivers to shoot themselves in the foot before he makes a move.
Gotcha. Well, he's very good at it.
Oof. A little wide there.
Yeah, I think Palm Tree's frustrated. I don't know if you were listening when we had him in here, but he did not sound his normal jovial self.
Yeah, I caught. But how long?
You keep fading in and out, bud. Just so you know.
He doesn't have the right to carry for. Crap is going on.
I can only hear about half of what you say, buddy. Yeah, no, he was leading for in almost the entire first half of the race until that drive-through really screwed him up. And now
I think I fixed it. My sensitivity was set really high.
Oh, okay, there you go. That sounds a lot better. B5 looks to have had another little bit of an incident while we were focused on Palm Tree. The gap now down to 9.9 seconds. So, and I was just about to comment how it was getting wider, not narrower, right? Like, Fife's got the pace where at one point during this race, we were seeing him close over a second per lap on Palm Tree. You know, so now with Fife out front, I don't know, it was, what do I want to say? With Fife out front, he has nothing to slow him down now. He was opening the gap at this point, but now made another mistake, closing it up to under 10 seconds. We'll see if Palm Tree's going to be able to exploit it. And as he said when he was here, he wants to be able to exploit the mistakes that Fife might make. I just don't know that there are enough of those in the 37 minutes that remain.
Yeah, he's going to be waiting a while for that. I mean, if that's your plan, you probably ought to brace yourself for some issues.
No, here it is. Fife into the pits, and the front of that Ferrari is struggling.
It doesn't look good.
No, it does not. So this is Palm Tree's opportunity as he comes down the start-finish straight. He will take first place right now with 56 laps done. B5 needing repairs. Let's go take a look and see if we can see how much he needs and how long he is going to be in the pits. Only 10 more seconds. So, not a ton of damage, but he felt it necessary to get in there and fix it. That's for sure. And he is already back off to the races. Red, I'm going to step away a quick moment since we don't have any close races going on here.
Absolutely.
I'll be back. I'm going to keep it focused on Frank, though, because Fife was only about 1.6 seconds behind him. And we'll see if he's able to close that. So B5 now back into third. Frank Drebin running in second. I'll be right back, bud.
And as we watch here, Frank's coming into the pits. See if he has how long it takes him. If it's a normal stop or if this was a stop because of forced because of damage. Look at the second counter. As he stops in his pit box, it said it was about 35:19. So this could be a normal 30-second stop, but there looks like there's some significant damage in the front of the car. And he has been in there a while, so it looks like he had some damage he's having to fix. It's going to cost him some time. He went into the wall hard. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Looks like he's down and away. A full 1 minute stop, though. So that's going to cost him. As JB Racer and B5 come around right at the merge line. And you're right, we do need a vacuum cam. That way you can see how inefficient my son is at running the vacuum cleaner. That's why it comes on and off every few seconds.
Well, B5 gets around, now up into second again. What did I miss, Red? Who's Red? Did I lose Red? B5 back up into second. 60 laps completed by Palm Tree Oil. Palm Tree into the grass. Bubs, you know the deal. Waiting for times to catch up here. Frank Drebin, though, has now caught up. And actually looks like as though he is catching up on the back of JB Racer. So we can keep our eyes here for now as we wait for the times for B5 to come in. Missed some damage. B5 and Frank, single car, separate incidents. Yeah, sorry I had to step away, guys. If Drebin can bring it up on the back end of JB, who is now running in third. It wasn't sus. He was off track. I saw the dirt fly. 25 seconds now back to B5 from Palm Tree. So again, we're in the situation where it's Palm Tree's race to lose at this point, right? As we keep eye on JB and Frank. Frank's straining now. Looking to just put it to the back end of JB and
Official
see if he can get
BoX3
around.
vacuum, Bubs, really? Yeah. I think you might be onto something
We're
there.
gonna put a camera up on your Red.
It would be on me all the time, though, because I suck so bad. It would just constantly be on me.
Well, no, we'll just put it down in the corner. We can watch you vacuum while we watch the race. And Frank able to make the move on JB. Nice and clean, moving himself up into third. JB not giving up that easily.
I do not need a Dirt Devil livery done. That is completely unnecessary. We watch Frank and JB go at it.
Hey, Red,
Frank
can you hear
took
me?
that spot, but JB is not happy about it. Looks like he's trying to still.
So basically, I think
take it
Red
back.
has me muted and can't hear me in the Discord, so he doesn't know I'm talking as well. This will get real curious.
Not able to do it as they go down into turn one. Still able to hang on to that.
Does he know I'm even here? He must have his headphones off or something. I don't know what's going on, but he cannot hear me at all. This is fantastic.
Well done. You get on that. You can make the livery, and I will run it at least once per season. Don, you're not allowed to talk about sausage. Stop it.
This is fantastic. So how do we pass messages to Red without him knowing that it's me passing them? You guys need to mess with him as much as humanly possible. So JB now backing off a bit, opening it up to 7/10. This is our late race battle. 27 minutes left to go. Now coming across the line again, 63 laps down for our leaders. 26 minutes left to go. How is Palm Tree Oil typing and racing at the same time? Well, that's why the gap's down to 21 seconds, I think, folks, is because he stops alongside the track to type and then drives again.
We don't want to know his secrets, Mr. Monkey. That's a bad idea. Nobody wants to know his secrets. And I don't think you have any right to call anyone old, Palm Tree Oil, based on the car you're driving. Just say.
So again, folks, Red still has no concept that I'm here. He doesn't know that I'm back. We see JB Racer now falling back out to 1.8 seconds. But the gap, if we take a look up front, the gap now down to 17 seconds between Palm Tree and Fife. Still plenty of time for Fife to make that up. We saw earlier in this race, he had the pace. He was catching up to Palm Tree right around a second per lap. Right? So now, I'm not saying that's enough. I'm not saying there are going to be 17 more laps here. But what I am saying is it only takes Palm Tree slowing down, his tires starting to go, or one mistake from him, and Fife is right back in this at the end of today's race. Again, you know, I know we only had at most 7 drivers on track. We lost 2 today thus far due to connection. 1 due to connection issues. I had 1, I believe, due to a rage quit. But as I started off this broadcast saying, Brands Hatch is a tight track. It's short, it's small. We knew we were going to get some competition here, and we did today. We saw some great battles. Unfortunately, some of them cut short due to the drive-through that Palm Tree earned himself, all of that. But really, these guys able to tighten it up. JB Racer now falling further back from Frank Drebin. Perhaps those tires are giving him some grief here at the end of the race, and he's unable to close that gap any further.
I was going to ask what caused the two drops. I wasn't watching. I was driving at that point. So
you know I'm here now?
Yeah, I know you're here now.
Okay. The chat and I were having a conversation about how you were talking and like had no clue I was here, that I was commentating with you.
Oh, I bumped the mute button.
Oh, there we go. That's what I figured. You must have muted something.
Yeah.
He figured it out, monkey.
I just like talking all over you.
No, it was funny. Everybody thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. Palm Tree bouncing a curb.
You wanted it to go longer, Bubs? I see. Oof.
Yeah, now down to 15.2. You know, I know it's not a lot of race time. 22 and a half minutes. I'm really wondering if we're not going to see Fife tighten this down right at the end of this race.
I mean, the chances that Palm Tree makes a mistake is pretty high. I mean, there'll be something that makes it interesting at the end, I think.
I'm hoping.
You hear that, Palm Tree Oil? He's hoping.
No, I'm hoping for something interesting, not that he makes a mistake. And by the way, just so I can say it, just so I can tell you, who was saying something about a livery? Oh, the livery for you.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, Dirt
yeah,
Devil.
No, you don't get a Dirt Devil livery until I get some sort of iRacing livery that's BoX3 from Dunn. He owes
That's
it.
fine. I didn't even want the Dirt Devil livery. That was forced on me.
Oh, no, you should totally have one. I just want Dunn to get his priorities straight, that's all. We need BoX3 liveries. The good part is that really, you know, he could make one livery for a car and we could all use it, right? Like,
true.
You know, so
especially for that Ferrari, because it's a Ferrari spec race, so you could just all use it. Yeah,
absolutely, for the Ferrari, and then you know whatever few other cars. I mean, we're all driving the same stuff right now, right? So it's one and it covers everybody.
There was a little bit of a bobble by Palm Tree Oil as he came down the hill.
I saw that. That's his second one.
A little bit of a crack in the veneer there, maybe.
Yeah, he did that earlier though on a corner as well. He kind of bobbled over the curb and it looked awful rough. Let's check on Fife and see how he's doing real quick. Again, just a madman, how he can sit here for 2 hours like this and just pure concentration.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, I mean, clearly it's ceramic coated, Bubs. It has to be. It makes the air escape faster. Helps with downforce. Why wouldn't you ceramic coat it? That's what I want.
Ceramic coat every car, right? You don't have to wax it. You don't have to polish it.
It's ceramic coated, so none of that crap sticks to him. He just keeps on going.
There you go.
What impresses me is you watch the video with him on that, and he is so freaking smooth. You watch those corners, and those are corners I'm like catching the car and trying to keep the rear end under it. And he is just like it's a Sunday drive, just casually taking the exit ramp.
I mean, he's locked in. You can tell he's concentrating, right? So it's obviously effort. And I don't want to minimize that. But yeah, for him, I mean, it's like butter over there watching him race.
Yeah, there's smooth inputs. That makes me jealous.
Watch Palm Tree Oil continue. There he is, the man himself, B. Fife. Now the gap down to 12 seconds. Is it going to get dark? I don't think it's going to get dark. I mean, I didn't multiply the time and we started at 3 p.m. So maybe, I don't know how this game decides or how ACC decides when it gets dark in a certain location. I've seen it light at 10 p.m. on certain tracks. You know what I mean? So Red wants smooth inputs. So a Dirt Devil / KY Jelly car. Dunn has your number, Red.
Done. I'm good enough. I don't need any of that lubricant stuff. I can take care of that on my own. Thank you though.
There you go, Red. I've just provided him the information he needs. Vomits, he says. Oh, boy. These long races get a little weird.
Yeah, I saw that. I was laughing. Bob said he gets a KY car on a Magisil car.
Oh, my God. Now that gap down to 10.2 seconds. Again, we saw this earlier, and I think what's going to happen is we may run out of time. Although we're seeing around a second a lap. So with 17 minutes to go and 10 seconds, does Fife have enough time to completely close that gap? He's gaining over a second a lap right now. I mean, his pace, when he's consistent and able to hold on to it, is absolutely amazing. 70 laps deep, this far into a 2-hour race, and he's still able to turn those consistent laps over and over and over again.
Yeah, and Palm Tree Oil pitted what at 45 minutes left?
Something like that, yeah.
And then there was 15 minutes before B5 came in. So maybe those tires start to get a little skittish, a little slippery.
Mm-hmm.
Sun's going down, gets a little bit more slippery because they're starting to lose pressure. We'll see. Almost 10 seconds. That isn't a whole lot of a gap. That's a small mistake, really, before you start getting to see that blueberry-colored Ferrari in your back window trying to pressure you into making a mistake.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's consistently getting smaller, and every time it updates, that number is less and less. I mean, we just went from 9.9 to 9.5 in the span of a third of a lap. Right, so I mean, he's tightening it up very quickly. What else do we need, Red, besides the Evo and the Skip Barber? Hand over to Dunn.
Evo and Skip Barber. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head until we decide to do something different, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I know which one. That RS3 Audi. I just keep handing him the templates. We need him to do one for the Formula V as well.
No, we don't. You can just leave
be
that
a big,
alone.
Can it just be a big explosion on the side?
That's right. Just all fire. All fire. Yeah, the Mazda. I mean, you use the Mazda a lot at the beginning, but I don't see you using it as things go on.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're going to move past that some. A trash can? Bubs wants a trash can livery?
Trash can on the side of the Formula V.
Actually, you could just make the whole thing look like a trash can. Maybe, what was the Sesame Street character that lived in the trash can
Oscar
popping
the
out of the
Grouch?
back of it? And there you go. Put that popping out of the back.
Yeah. You need an Oscar the Grouch livery for that thing. So I just saw the times down to 8.8 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that.
There we go, 8.3. So he's gaining at least a second a lap right now. Absolutely unbelievable, the pace he has. Again, and just because it's this late in the race makes it even more amazing, right? He's able to just crunch it down and continue to make these consistently fast laps that are closing this gap over and over and over. We're about to dip under 8 seconds.
Yeah, Bubs, I know it can go to C, but my question is, will you still want to drive it when you have the availability of other cars? So I don't know. I haven't gotten any farther yet, so there's still some stuff that you can run in it right now for sure, because I saw one last night. But will you be like, oh, I like this 4 or this 8, yeah, the Evo, the Ferrari, and I want to drive that instead more? Who knows? Mazda is the GOAT. I don't know that I would go that far.
7.7 seconds now, the gap.
Well, I have no doubt, Dunn, that you would use the Mazda for a long time. The size of it would make you look bigger, so I get it. But I don't know that everyone would have that same issue.
.1. This is what it's come to. 12 minutes left to go. We are watching that timer click down along with the gap between number 1 Palm Tree Oil and number 2 B Fife 22. 73 laps down.
You got to put me on blast like that, Bubs. Really? Was that necessary?
Again, you said you didn't care who knew. You cared who won, and he dimed you out for that too. So now under 7 seconds, down to 6.8. Frank Drebin currently sitting in third with JB Racer in fourth. Outer Known, who has struggled throughout this race, currently sitting in fifth. Shame right there, because Outer is one of the faster drivers we have, but has just, this season for some reason, has had some issues. Either hardware or struggling with the track that we were on that week. Gap now down to 5.7 seconds. Still 10 minutes left to go. Palm Tree Oil watching it count down. Check in on Fife one more time. That gap continues to shrink very quickly. We just crossed the 5-second mark. 4.8 the gap now. We come down to the last 10 minutes of this race, and just that fast, now under 5 seconds, 4.5. Can he close it down with 9 minutes left to go? Track temperatures have dropped throughout today's race, now down to 17°C. That's a full 5 degrees. 8.5 minutes left to go. That gap is now down to 4 seconds as we come into T2 for the 76th time during today's 2-hour endurance race. Before it gets too close, folks, get ready for Scientist Monkey to lose his mind in the chat one more time. We are back tomorrow, PC ACC Racing Endurance at the Nürburgring at 8 p.m. UTC, 3 p.m. Eastern. Back next week on Sunday, February 6th, Bolton Park with a standard race, and February 13th in Barcelona for another standard race. That is all PC Racing. Season 2 of Xbox starts up in 2 or 3 weeks. We will be making that announcement very soon. As we catch back up, 3.3 seconds the gap now between Palm Tree Oil and B Fife. Nothing for nothing. I mean, look, Palm Tree Oil has had a great race. He's in first after a drive-through. Fife has obviously made mistakes that put him back into second place, having to pit for a third time. But nothing for nothing. I got to look at today's race overall, and I got to pick a driver of the race, you know, the best driver of today's race. Never mind who's in, you know, the placement. It's got to be Fife. No one else today has been more consistent and faster on this track. A combination of bad luck and a combination of bad timing and mistakes on his part are what have put him in second, right? So when we talk about who had the best performance today, I got to give it up to Fife. He took what was a 16-second gap, and now with just under 7 minutes left to go, we're down to under 2.9 seconds, call it, so under 3 seconds. About to update again, and I'm willing to bet, yep, there it is. Another 4/10 erased between these two drivers. There it is, folks, down to under 2 seconds. They are sharing the start-finish line. 5 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. Done. That's an excellent idea. I should pull Palm Tree into VC and play it right through the VC for him. 1.3. Watching this gap close has been some of the best racing I've watched in a long time, because I just want to see that number get smaller and get a battle here right at the end. And it looks like that's what we're going to get as we push past the 5-minute mark now. We are now down to under 1 second. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. That's at least 2 more laps on this track, probably 3. And he has done it. B-Fife has been able to close what was a 16-second gap, at one point as high as 21 seconds, all the way down now to giving us a battle here at the end of a 2-hour endurance race at Brands Hatch between himself and Palm Tree Oil. I told y'all when we started this that Brands Hatch with this few of drivers would still be interesting, and I wasn't wrong. The payoff's about to be right here as we watch 2 of the fastest drivers in our league on the Xbox side of things go toe-to-toe at the end of the season. No, Dunn, we're not, because this is not F1.
Let's see if he cracks.
That's what Fife's waiting for, isn't it? 2 laps. We got at least 2 laps left to go.
Maybe 3, I'm guessing.
It's gonna be close, yeah.
So he's got a lap and a half to figure out where he wants to do it at, if no mistakes are made. And the ping, you're right. The ping cannot be ignored. When Palm Tree Oil is involved, the ping can never be ignored.
I will say his ping right now looks better than yours did before when you were on your other connection there.
No, mine
Yeah.
never got over 200.
Yours was in the red, dude. That's why they call you Red Rider, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Again, we saw this last time this battle happened. There's a flux there, right? From say 0.8 down to 0.2, back to 0.8, down to 0.2. And I think that's Fife looking for his opportunity, right? He knows where the corners on this track are. Yeah, I mean, he knows where the corners are. He can look to make the pass. And he's going to give himself a little breathing room in between.
Well, that Lexus is going to be stronger in the longer straightaways because it's got the get up and go. So you go through those stretches there where you got fast, high-speed corners and tight corners. He's going to narrow that down to nothing because it just doesn't handle those corners that well.
Palm Tree, no stranger to this pressure from Fife. Handled it very well last time. Did end up pulling himself a drive-through, but beyond that, was able to hold the line the entire time.
He took that corner to the left there in a way to make it so that no one could get past. He took the middle. There was no line there. It was just the middle. And I think we're going to get one more lap out of this battle. Looks like 38 seconds left. They'll get to the start-finish line, and there'll still be a few seconds left.
Yep.
And I think B5 knows it too. That's why he's not pushing an insane amount. Although it's down to 20, it's going to be close. Yeah, they're going to have one more time around at this, I think.
Yep, one more lap. This is it, folks. Been waiting for this for the entire 2 hours. The battle for 1 and 2 will continue for one more lap. Fife now looking side by side through T2. Slips a little bit and knocks into the back end of Palm Tree. No problems. But now is his time to push.
Yep, the analysis is over. Now comes the send it mode.
B5 again looking for the inside, not able to get there this time.
He's just daring him to be conservative once.
Now, what I'm curious about too is we know Palm Tree last time pulled a drive-through, right? And that was when he was under pressure from Fife, right? I mean, I'm just saying, Fife applied that pressure and got the drive-through on Palm Tree. Is that going to happen again?
The last couple corners you get a drive-through, that would be rough.
That would be. And here we go, folks. It's going to be neck and neck down to the end. Palm Tree still holding out. Fife with it tucked under into the last corner.
Oh, he's gonna get it. That's Palm Tree Oil's got it.
That is Palm Tree Oil with the win. Fife looking to cut outside. Awesome racing from both of these guys at the end of a 2-hour endurance race today. Absolutely fantastic. Frank
if you
Drebin,
stuck around to the end, you got rewarded. That's
yep. Everybody
that's
watching.
crazy.
That was absolutely insane, and just some fantastic driving at the end of a 2-hour endurance race at Brands Hatch today. Frank Drebin looking to finish third. And we'll pull out his first podium with BoX3 Motorsports. Really got left alone today, able to just run his race and be consistent.
He was up there in front a few times too. That was impressive from him.
Did a great job today. JB Racer, now crossing the line, will come in fourth. Outer known, 3 laps down, but will be our 5th place finisher today. And that is it, Red Rider. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Excellent racing today from these guys. Really good job. Fun to watch. 2 hours of Xbox ACC racing. Don't forget, folks, we're back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. We've got a 1.5-hour endurance race at the Nürburgring on our PC AC from our PC ACC guys. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank Bubs. I want to thank Dunn for the gift subs to the league today. You guys are helping support us. I want to thank you, Red, for being here. But you want to bring Palm Tree down real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, hold on.
I know, I put it right there.
Palm Tree.
Hello.
Oh, buddy.
He has no words.
He has no words. For once, he has been cowed.
Bruh. Oh my god.
Yeah, listen,
it was
man.
So tense.
Nothing
It
for
was
nothing.
So tense.
Nothing for nothing. You did some great racing today. You got a drive through, still won
so
that
dead.
race.
My tires were so dead.
Really?
Oh,
Who won
I bet.
I there was just through from the last corner to the second corner, I would lose 5 tenths to B5.
Wow.
Like, I literally had to pull Sergio Perez to win that race. Like, just call me the Minister of Defense from now.
Yeah, I pointed out there the last couple of laps going into what would it be? I think it's turn 4 maybe. The sweeper to the left where it's kind of a double apex deal. I was like, he is not taking a inside or an outside line. He is taking a middle line to leave absolutely no room.
It wasn't only that, it was like, if I took the inside, I'd be too slow. If I took the outside, I'd understeer out. So I had to take the middle every time.
Well, excellent racing from you today,
that's
man.
what I would say too.
Great racing today, my dude. That was fantastic. For Fife as well. I mean, look, both you guys, I think, did a great job in the season closer. And I hope you're both coming back for season 2 because you guys are fun to watch.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
What's the championship looking like?
I have no idea. I haven't looked. I looked the other day, but I don't know. Namaste Maru would be the one to hit up about that. But I haven't had a chance to catch up on it. I think he just posted
Last
not too long ago.
last one I saw was a couple weeks old, and I think you were in second. I think. I don't know what it was after last week. I know he had it worked up. I thought he posted it, but maybe he didn't.
I thought so too.
he
Yeah, I have
did.
to find it.
Says points after race 5, not counting round 2 because those have disappeared, and I'm 2 points behind Outer Unknown. B5's in 5th, so
Okay, well that's as long as you didn't baff anybody today, that's pretty.
Yeah,
That's
should
pretty
be good.
solid.
Should be good, my man.
Yep.
So.
Finally won something.
Finally won something.
These Xbox drivers want it
Listen,
all.
you live in New Zealand. You're winning at life.
Yep. And you didn't get kicked today.
Yeah.
Even with a 200 ping. So
No.
I feel like that's a gift right there.
Exactly.
I mean, well, I haven't been kicked before, and fingers crossed I don't lag too much while on track.
It doesn't seem like it. Maybe an occasional, like it looks like maybe there's an occasional like slide to the left, right? But or to the right,
like
whichever.
It'll go
nothing
up to
crazy
red for like a second, and then then it'll come back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, man, you did a great job today. You and Fife both, in case he watches this after, because he's not in a VC or anything, but Fife as well did a great job today. Excellent racing from everybody.
Amazing.
You guys were awesome. So we're going to close it out, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you again to Bubs and Dunn for the gifted subs to the channel. That is how you can support BoX3 Motorsports. We appreciate it because it's going to allow us to do more and more going forward.
Absolutely.
Hope everyone has themselves a great weekend. A great week. And don't forget, again, PC ACC racing tomorrow right here, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. Come back and watch our PC drivers. We're an hour and a half at the Nürburgring tomorrow. It's going to be some great racing. So I hope everybody makes it for that. Red, thank you so much. Palm Tree, thank you as well. And I hope you guys all...
worries. I hope everyone has a good day.
You too, man. Have a great one. All right, later, buddy.
See you, buddy.